In the early morning hours of September 1st, 1939, Europe stood on the edge of a catastrophe it did not yet fully understand. The streets of many European cities were quiet. Shops were opening. Trams rolled along cobblestone roads. People read newspapers, unaware that history was about to change forever. At dawn, German forces crossed the border into Poland. Without a formal declaration of war, Nazi Germany launched a massive military assault, using a new and terrifying strategy known as Blitzkrieg, lightning war. German aircraft bombed Polish cities, railways, and communication lines, while tanks and infantry advanced rapidly across the countryside. World War II had begun. The roots of this moment stretched back more than 20 years earlier, to the aftermath of World War I. The Treaty of Versailles left Germany economically devastated, politically unstable, and deeply resentful. Many Germans felt humiliated by territorial losses, military restrictions, and heavy war reparations. Out of this anger and hardship rose Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. Promising to restore national pride, rebuild the economy, and reverse the treaty's punishments, Hitler gained popular support. Once in power, he quickly dismantled democratic institutions and turned Germany into a totalitarian state. By the late 1930s, Nazi Germany was openly preparing for war. Hitler began expanding German territory, first by reoccupying the Rhineland, then annexing Austria in 1938. Later that year, Germany seized the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia, claiming to protect ethnic Germans. Western powers, particularly Britain and France, responded with a policy known as appeasement, hoping concessions would prevent another large-scale war. They were wrong. In August 1939, Germany signed a shocking agreement with its ideological enemy, the Soviet Union. Known as the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, it was a non-aggression treaty that secretly divided Eastern Europe into spheres of influence. This agreement removed Hitler's fear of a two-front war. Poland was next. On September 1st, German troops attacked Poland from the west, north, and south. The German Air Force destroyed Polish airfields while tanks pushed deep into the country. Civilians fled their homes as cities burned. The Polish army fought bravely, but it was overwhelmed by speed, coordination, and superior firepower. Just over 2 weeks later, Soviet forces invaded Poland from the east, as agreed in the secret pact. Poland was crushed. 2 days after the invasion began, on September 3, 1939, Britain and France declared war on Germany. World War II was no longer a regional conflict. It had become a global war. Over the next 6 years, the conflict would spread across Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Pacific. More than 60 countries would be involved. Entire cities would be reduced to rubble. Tens of millions of civilians would die. The war would witness the Holocaust, the systematic murder of 6 million Jews, as well as millions of other victims targeted by Nazi ideology. It would end with the use of atomic weapons and reshape the political map of the world forever. But in those early days of September 1939, none of that was yet known. What people felt instead was uncertainty, fear, and disbelief. Many believed the war would be short. They were terribly mistaken. World War II was not just a battle between armies. It was a struggle between ideologies, between tyranny and freedom, between hatred and humanity itself. And it all began on a quiet morning, when tanks rolled across a border and the world crossed a line from which there was no return.